Now we are looking at the arithmetic sequence, or the linear sequence, where we know that a linear sequence is a sequence that has a constant first difference. Now, e.g., just making a typical example, if we say that we have a sequence 5 is to 9 is to 13 is to 17, now we can now see if it has a first constant difference. 9 minus 5, that's 4. We know that we always have our terms t1, t2, t3, t4, etc. So we know that in order for us to get the difference, we always have t2 minus t1, t3 minus t2, t4 minus t3. So 9 minus 5 is 4, 13 minus 9 is also 4, 17 minus 13 is 4. We can see that the first difference is constant, so therefore we can see that this is a arithmetic sequence. So that is very, very important and very crucial. So now, after we know that this is our arithmetic sequence and that our arithmetic sequence has the first constant difference, now we need to be able to calculate the general term. So now we can say that the general term can be calculated using this formula. Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 multiplied by d. Now, this is the general term, or the general formula, or the nth formula of an arithmetic sequence. So, where your a is equal to your first term of the sequence, which is the same as your t1, and your d is your common difference, which is your first difference, because we say that arithmetic sequence, it is the first common difference. And we need to understand that this tn which we have here, it represents the term in position n, and this n is the positive whole number which we have, and the position of the last term gives the number of the sequence which we have. So after this, now let's just have a typical example. So this is just a small easy stuff which by now I believe that you can be able to master this. Now just look at this example which you are given. Let's say that you are given this sequence which is 3 is to 7 is to 11. Then now they say that write down the common difference. So we know that common difference d is always equal to t2 minus t1, or it can be also equal to t3 minus t2, or t4 minus t3, njalo njalo. So that's how you can find the common difference. So in order for us to calculate the common difference, which means it's going to be t2, because this is t1, this is t2, t3, so that will be your d here, which will be t2 times minus that would be 7 minus 3, that's 4. 11 minus 7 is 4, which means that our common difference d is equal to 4. So if you want to write it in a neat way, you can say that d, which is your common difference, will be equal to t2 minus t1, and your t2 is given as 7 minus 3, which is equal to 4. Then you can now write that as your common difference over there. Now after that question, they state that, okay, now that you know the common difference of this first of this sequence, now calculate or determine or state the values of the fourth, fifth, and the sixth term. Again, this is easy. I showed you from the previous question that, okay, we know that the common difference is all the same on all these terms, so all this should be 4, it should be 4. So now that we know that the first common difference is always the same, which is 4, so now which means this will be 11 plus 4, that will give you your 15 over there. Then 15 plus 4, that will give you your 19. Again, the next term will be 19 plus 4, then that will be your 23. Yes, so that's how we can find the next following terms. You are just summing up from this point. So that will be your common difference plus the previous term. Then you can get the next term. Your common difference plus this previous term will give you the next term. All right. That's easy and straightforward. Now, determine the formula of the nth term again, which means they want you to determine Tn, and we know that Tn of the arithmetic sequence is always Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 times d. What is your a? Your a is your T1, and your T1 is your first term. And in this instance, your T1 is 3, so you have your 3 plus n minus 1. And what is our d? Our d is the common difference, and our common difference in this instance is 4. Then after that, we can now solve the equation. When we solve the equation which we are given here, then that will be 3 plus 4 times n, that will be positive 4n, 4 times negative 1, that will be negative 4. Then we can now have our 4n, and 3 minus 4, that's negative 1. So that will be your Tn. Is just solving 4n there. That's not hard. Again, your general term is Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 times d, where your a is the first term of the sequence, your d is the common difference. So you just substitute there. Then after that, you add the like terms or subtract the like terms. In this instance, your 3 and 4, they're just general terms which you can just add or subtract. Then after that, you end up having your general term or general formula, which is 4n minus 1. Easy stuff. Now calculate the value of the 25th term. Now when we say 25th term, which means they've already given us t25, so t25 will be 4 times 25 minus 1. So 4 times 25 is 100. 100 minus 1 is 99. Don't do this at home. Use your calculator always so that you get the proper answer. Which term has a value of 247? Now it's getting boring. We know that the moment they say that which term, which means they want you to calculate the value of n. The moment they say which term, which means you need to calculate the value of n, and we have already been given the value of tn to be equal to that. And we know that our tn is equal to 4n minus 1. And what is our tn? Our tn is now given as 247. So now we need to just calculate the value of n. So that would be 247. And then of course we can transpose that 1 there to the other side. So that would be 247 plus 1, which is 248, equal to 4. And then you divide both sides by 4, divide both sides by 4. Then therefore your n value will be equal to 4 into 24, that's 6, 4 into 8, that's 2, that should give you 62. But again, don't try this at home. Use your calculator so that you can get the proper and the correct answer at that specific question which you are given. Okay, so your n value is 62. Now how many terms are in the sequence? So how do you calculate this question? So I forgot perhaps to add the last term to be 395 here. So that's the last term which we are given in this instance. So the moment they say how many terms, which means you now have to use the last term which you are given. We know that our tn is equal to our 4n minus 1. So if they say how many terms are in this sequence and they've given us the last term of that specific sequence, in this instance is 395, which means our tn is equal to 395. Again, we need to calculate the number of these terms which is represented by n. So that will be 395 is equal to 4n minus 1. And of course you can now have your 395 plus 1, that's 396, equal to 4. And then you divide both sides by 4, divide both sides by 4. 4 into 3, 39, that would be 9, carry 3. 4 into 36, that will be another 9. So your n value over there will be equal to 9. So in this sequence there are 99 terms. Then with that being said, that will be our arithmetic sequence. Dango means thank you.